All right, good morning, everybody. I think we're getting ready to begin. We'll give it maybe one more minute for some more people to join, I think. Maybe start. Here we go. It's right on time. All right, good morning, West Michigan, and welcome to the conversation. I am Claire Pfeiffer, Content Studio Manager for Cranes and MIBiz, and I want to thank you for joining us today. This is the third installment of the 2023 live stream Manufacturing Change. Manufacturing is always in a state of change, and today that change is happening faster and faster. All the shocks to our systems breed an array of new ideas and solutions and technologies, and trying to understand it all and then incorporating what one has learned into any manufacturing role has become a job in itself, which is why we are pleased to partner today with Terry Hassink, our Vice President of Manufacturing Services at The Right Place, and we'll go in depth with these monthly conversations. Our purpose is to highlight best practices that you can use, and these will be actionable solutions. And we want to introduce you to experts with the know-how and can-do attitude that will help you tackle the most pressing manufacturing issues.
Before we get to our panelists today, I would like to remind you that we are recording today's session. The replay and links to sources can be found in all sorts of places. mybiz.com/manufacturing change, all of the MyBiz and Right Place social media as well. Additionally, this live stream is being turned into a podcast. Manufacturing Change can be found wherever you get your podcast. Hit that plus button or follow button and never miss an update. We encourage you to use the chat or Q&A function today in your control panel and send us comments and questions. This conversation is for you, and we love our audience participation.
So now let's get to our panelists. First, we have Rachel Gray. Hello, Rachel. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rachel is the Executive Director for HelloWestMichigan. Rachel leads the organization's strategy, operations, and membership development. And before joining HelloWestMichigan, Rachel handled marketing for Aquinas College's career and counseling services and worked at Celebration Cinema as a marketing intern. And Rachel was also honored as a Grand Rapids Business Journal 40 Under 40 in 2018. And she is an alumna of Aquinas College. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you very much.
And then we also have with us Jessica Kuster. Jessica is the program manager of HelloWestMichigan, and she is responsible for overseeing the organization's internship program, which is probably really important for talent and attraction, I'm sure, and member engagement, marketing and communications, and production of the annual events. She joined HelloWestMichigan in 2019, and before that, she served as program coordinator at Grow, where she organized entrepreneurial training programs and fundraising events. She also serves on the Young Nonprofit Professionals Board of Directors. So welcome to you both. And Rachel and Jessica, they make up the HelloWestMichigan team and promote West Michigan as a great place to work and to live. And they do that by educating employers and prospective candidates about the region. So their efforts really enhance the work of their members' talent acquisition teams. So with that, take it away, Terry.
Talent is a topic that my team hears the most about in their visits to manufacturers these days. Today, we're going to talk about how interns can fill some of your current gaps and provide a longer-term solution as part of the manufacturing talent toolkit. Rachel, we'll start with you. How does a company benefit by having interns as part of its strategy, and when should companies start this process?
So, this is really about short-term strategy and long-term. Interns are a part of the talent pipeline. So if your company hires new college grads, an internship program is an absolute must. For companies with internship programs, the roles for new college grads are usually filled by those converted interns. So if you're thinking, all right, but that's not the role I need, if you don't need new college grads, but rather candidates with maybe 3 to 7 years experience, and you're having trouble finding it, just like everybody else, perhaps it's because the candidate pool doesn't know about your company. So imagine if you had a warm pool of interns or former interns that worked at your company, they've gotten more experience elsewhere, and then they came back to you, right? So, an internship can really fill a lot of different needs. even thinking about longevity in your industry. So actually at our office, we wanted to help build the talent pipeline for our industry. That's why we expanded our internship program last year. So even if there was a talented student that doesn't end up at our organization, it helps our other partners around the state. So this, I mean, it sounds cliche, but really you have to start with the why. Why do you want to have a program? Is it a pipeline for your company, a pipeline for industry, succession planning, training opportunity for your potential new managers? Is it capacity for special projects? What is the reason that you want to have an internship program? You start there and then you design your program around that.
So Jessica, are today's interns looking for companies to provide them with a certain experience when they're there?
Yeah, we get this question a lot from employers. And because of that, last fall, we actually did a survey to interns to ask them questions to answer exactly that. What are they looking for in their internship experience? And what do they value most from that? And it was really interesting to read their responses, because I think some of the more common answers and what we assume is that they want flexibility, they want the opportunity to work remotely, they want autonomy, but really all of those were the lowest ranking items in this survey. So what interns are truly looking for today is connection with the people they work with, bringing them opportunities to expand their network, learn from those people. Interns get to work with professionals that have been in the industry possibly for many, many years. And they want you to be willing to share your expertise with them and teach them things along the way, even beyond the scope of their internship description. They're also very passionate about needing meaningful work. So their day-to-day work cannot just be a task list of things to do that they need to check off. It really has to have impact on the company, and they want to see their work then influencing what the company moves forward with. So for us, this means we have a project list. We always have a list of projects that we want to get to that are going to change the trajectory of our company. And that's what we give interns the opportunity to have a hand in. Of course, they're looking to develop skills, and they want their internship to the projects that they're working on really to speak to those skills. So whether they're looking to grow a skill they already have or learn a new skill, that's how you should be building out the projects so that they get to enhance those areas. And quite honestly, they want to be treated like any other team member. They don't want to be known as the intern. They have a name. They're just as much a part of the team as everyone else. So it's really valuable to make sure that they're introduced to everyone in the office, that they are talking to those people on a daily basis, and that they're invited to join in on opportunities like meetings that they might be able to learn from and just kind of hear how the rest of the team talks and shares their side of the business. But even just inviting them to lunch and getting to know them as a person. They need to be building these professional connections, and we know how hungry they are to be able to grow their professional networks. And so that's really what we're seeing are kind of some of the key areas that interns are looking at in terms of whether or not they have a good internship experience. And we, again, we did this survey, so there's a lot more information that we have to share. And we have an event coming up here on March 28th. It's our summer internship season kickoff event. And at this program, we're going to announce and fully share all of the details from the survey and really talk about how that information can impact your internship program and how you might be able to shift it and adjust it to serve what interns are in need of today.
So Rachel, I'm one of those guys who hired the intern, gave them a project, and kind of forgot about them. Why is it really important for those hiring them to understand what they're looking for? I mean, what does that look like for the hiring manager, or even the manager that's higher upstream from the intern?
So, I mean, you have to know that competition is fierce for talent at all experience level, and that includes students and potential interns. And so understanding what they want is incredibly important for your program design. Especially if you're in a field, an in-demand field, like you need tech or engineering interns, right? Those students, they can be courted as early as freshman year, right? We have companies that will specifically volunteer at move-in at the dorms or the buildings that are specific to engineering, like on freshman move-in day, because that's how they're branding their company. So competition is fierce, but that doesn't mean you have to hatch the perfect internship program and go from 0 to 60 in 1 year, right? All of these programs, they've been evolving over the years. And, so companies who felt the squeeze on the talent pool, over the last 10 years, they've really doubled down on growing or improving their internship program. And so again, you really have to understand what students are looking for so that you can design an internship program that will be desirable to them. And, Jessica mentioned in that survey some of the benefits, right, that we think about what, can we offer the students the moon in terms of program benefits. That's not what they rank most highly, right? What they want is something that's going to teach them new skills. It's going to give them projects that they can speak to on their resume or is in a field that they're interested in going to. So it's not just, about offering free food and, fully remote work and, those things that sound really good on paper. If it's not a good experience, they're not going to speak positively. Or if they get into your interview and realize like, wow, the idea for what I'm actually going to be doing sounds really half-baked. Or, they talked in a lot of generalities and couldn't actually tell me what I'd be doing when I do come into the office. And so students are truly looking for that experience and they're looking to grow their skills. And so understanding that and making sure that you have a match there is really important.
So what is some of that pre-work that you would recommend a company they spend their time and energy on prior to, and I say prior to bringing the intern on board? What does that look like? What's the best way to do that?
That's where a lot of the work is before the intern shows up, before you even start recruiting an intern. There's a ton of work that happens to get ready for that. So this is actually kind of the very digestible version of the 5 steps that we talk about to start or improve an internship program. That's through a training that we host called Employer Internship Training Sessions. There's another one coming up in May. But the short version of that is, again, finding out your why and setting your goals for the program. You also want to make sure you get top level buy-in, right? So it's fantastic when our HR professionals or maybe a team lead knows the importance of internships and wants to start one, but it's important to get that top level buy-in. Next is writing a plan for the intern. A lot of work should go into this and it should be very well thought out. What will they be doing? And this doesn't have to be every minute of every day that they're going to be with you, but aim for filling 60% of their time. Because then what you want to do is once you find a good fit, once you bring that intern on board, you're going to collaborate with the student to find projects that interest them. And then that's how you fill the last 40%. So you can really you want to do that in partnership, but you're never going to get that intern to collaborate on the 40% if you don't have the 60% already built out and really determined on what that's going to be. And a big part you really want to look at is you want to develop a structured onboarding plan for their first day, their first week, their first month. If you have, even a summer-long internship at 3 months, that's not a lot of time to ramp up and then ramp down. And so it's really important to kind of think about, if you're going to do a summer internship, what does that whole 8-10 weeks look like? To really make sure that that's structured and it's following a good learning trajectory. This is where you can work in conjunction with other teams, looking at, your HR team, your talent acquisition team, if you're working with hiring managers. What does structured onboarding look like for a full-time team member? And then how can you take the pieces of that? There's probably going to be things that you can pare down or that aren't relevant to students. But then how do you turn that into your intern onboarding plan? But a structured onboarding plan is really, really important. Just like, for new employees, they kind of decide within the first 4 hours, the first day of being at your company on whether or not they want to stay or ghost you after orientation. It's the same thing with an intern. Intern probably has a little bit more skin in the game, especially if they want to do it for credit. But it's important that you give a good structured onboarding. And then next step is you want to recruit the intern. The great news about being here in West Michigan is there are tons of opportunities for this, right? We have many colleges, many institutions of higher learning. There's a lot of resources for employers who want to hire entry-level talent. So you can come to one of our employer internship training sessions. There's a free one coming up in May. If you're saying, hey, I want to get started right now, or I want to challenge my team to bring someone on, after Memorial Day this year, you still have the opportunity for that. If you're kind of going from 0 to 60 and you're in that boat and you want someone even this summer, I would say call career services directly, right? Every college has a career services office. They will walk you through kind of what we walk through in our employer internship training session. They'll do it with you, in an hour meeting, and walk you through that way because they want more opportunities for their students. Next up is managing an intern. And this takes time. It is a real duty to manage an intern. So if you have a team of 3 people who are all doing the same job with the same workload, if one of those team members gets assigned to manage the intern, then that person should see the other part of their workload decrease. It is not sustainable to say you all have the same, but oh, by the way, you have an intern that you should, check in on every once in a while. That's not a good internship experience. And I can tell you the management of an intern, this is really where I think internships can go off the rails, right? That's where you get the horror stories. That's where you get leaders who say, I will never host another intern again because of the terrible one I had 5 years ago. Well, was that the student, or was that because they weren't managed well, or because the program wasn't defined correctly, or because there was a breakdown in communication, right? Considering things like culture building, how to listen, how to give feedback, formalizing standard operating procedures, needed documentation. If they're going to be doing things, or you're going to be training this intern on things that haven't been trained on in quite a while, probably need to look at your documentation, look at your systems, get them logins. These are all the things that enable them to do their job. And they're not a bad intern because you didn't communicate with them. So it's really important to manage an intern and understand that takes a time commitment, and that there's other things that are going to go away if you're managing an intern where you should be. And then lastly, hopefully you have a summer or the semester where you manage the intern and everything goes well. You want to make sure that you finish with exit interviews, right? You want to follow up. You want to find out how did they like this, especially when you're starting the program, because this is where you're really going to hear from the student on their way out the door, right, is how to make these improvements and make those plans for next year so that you can implement it and continuously improve, right? When you think about the companies that have, top-notch internship programs, that didn't happen overnight, right? That's many years of improvement. And so that the exit interview, the follow-up is really important.
I think those are great tips. And having managed interns myself, really making them feel like part of the team is a key strategy. You want them to feel like they added value and got something to take away with them. So fabulous advice. So when you are working with companies and you want to help them find strategies for bringing these interns on board, are there any best practices you've seen that really work to get manufacturers to see great ways to onboard interns?
Absolutely. Even just thinking about the projects that they do and what they get assigned, when you write that 60% of the job description, the first place to think about is, because usually if someone says, hey, we're going to have an intern this year, and someone gets assigned that duty to create that, the first thing they're going to say is, what are they going to do? And the thing that I always say to take a look at first is, what is the wish list, right? Like, what is your wish list of projects that they just never get prioritized? They're not important enough maybe to assign them to a full-time team member, or they don't rank when you're kind of looking at the things of, every day that need to get done. But they're always on the wish list, and you always want someone to have capacity to do them. That can be a great project for an intern. And really looking at what kind of skills do those wish list projects require. Is this putting an intern in a specific department? To really align it with that project. Is this where you need a team of interns from different departments, or maybe with different skill sets to get this project done? One thing that I always see a lot of is evaluation research on adopting a tool or a platform or a service over another. Many times if you're looking for, a tool or a platform that's going to be used kind of company wide, you're probably going to need input from different teams, right? That's not just going to be one department that makes that decision. So if you can build an intern team that have interns from different disciplines, then you really are getting multiple perspectives on that evaluation research. Another ways that I've seen companies, especially manufacturers, utilize interns. Once we had a manufacturer, they actually had their interns design a new organizational system for the tool room and a cataloging system. So this wasn't, a product that could be sold, and it wasn't driving revenue necessarily, but it improved operations for their team. It was one of those wish list things that, everyone kind of wanted, but no one was really tackling. And two interns came in and they worked on that together. And they built a system that, it wasn't just like, okay, well, while the intern's here, it's organized, right? Like it was a system that went forward and really created lasting improvement for the company. So, think about those types of things. Even just extra capacity as well. If you need extra capacity for short seasons on your team, how can you help with that?
Sounds like those interns had a great experience and a great takeaway and something to put on their resume, right? And the business then also benefits. So we have just a couple minutes left, but Jessica, can you tell us just a little bit more about your Intern Connect event coming up?
Absolutely. So, in an effort to recruit talented young people to the area and keep the young people that we have here, Intern Connect is a program designed really to teach area interns about West Michigan's lifestyle and the abundant economic opportunities that are available here. So, Intern Connect is a summer-long program of both events and resources, again, to really enhance an intern's experience living and working here. So we kick off the summer with a half-day professional development conference, followed by 4 virtual networking events. And then included in registration for those events is a quick start guide just to kind of get familiar with West Michigan, kind of find out what the best beaches are, some restaurants, typical festivals for the summer. And then we pair that with a weekly newsletter created by interns for interns called the Intern Inform newsletter. And again, that's just giving them information straight to their inboxes every week to tell them what's going on around the area that week that they can tap into both professionally and just to get out and experience the community. We know how amazing summer is here, and so we want to showcase West Michigan during the summer to these interns and really provide them opportunities to grow their networks so that at the end of their internship or the end of their college career, they know they want to call West Michigan their home, and they have made those connections to make that possible for them. So this program is really professional development planned for all summer long, and it's all done by our team so that you don't have to do that. And we have a variety of levels of company engagement here, but you can also, just register your interns for a pretty nominal fee. They'll get all the communication they need from us and get invited to each event. And then there you go. All their professional development is wrapped up in a nice bow. And we're able to do that, especially if this is your first time hosting an internship and maybe you don't have the capacity to build in those professional development opportunities. This would be a great event to tap into.
All right, I know we're running a little bit short on time, but Rachel, I know you've got Rapid Roots coming up. You want to just briefly cover that for us before we have to end our time today?
Yeah, so shifting a little bit from interns to the other end of the talent spectrum with executives, director level or above. We talked about the importance of onboarding for your interns. You probably have an onboarding program to your company for your executives and directors that you bring into the organization. But I'm curious if any of you have onboarding programs for the community. If you're bringing in talent, especially executives from outside of West Michigan, community onboarding is critically important. And so we created a program called Rapid Roots to help do that. So that if you're bringing someone in, you've invested a lot of money to bring someone from outside of the area, right? The out of area hire, you want to make sure that it sticks. You want to make sure that they stay here for the long term and they're retained not only at the company, but in our community as well. And so Rapid Roots is our community onboarding program for executives. It's an experiential cohort. So we don't just talk about the great things in our community, we actually go out and do them. And it's done in a cohort model so that they can create connections and really accelerate their network making here in West Michigan. West Michigan is a hard place to break into personally. We're great at networking with new business folks, but we're not always great at inviting them into our homes and making sure they have fun things to do on the weekends. And so Rapid Roots as a cohort is really designed to help them come out with basically 15 new friends. So we are accepting applications for that program right now. The cohort will run April 27th through June 1st of this year. But our applications are due March 24th. So you can find that application on our website at HelloWestMichigan.com/rapidroots. We would love to have your nominations, love to have your questions about it. This is a newer program for us. So the other end of the talent spectrum.
So HelloWestMichigan has lots of opportunities we didn't get to dig into today. They've also have Rethink West Michigan, which happens around Thanksgiving weekend. It's a membership organization, so please take a look at that website. It should be up on your screen. And thank you, Rachel, Jessica, and Claire. There are many ways to address our talent issues here facing us. Today we talked about internships primarily. And if you want to learn more how Hello West Michigan serves our community, please go to the website that's listed on your screen. Currently, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation is offering a $25,000 matching grant program for manufacturing companies to implement Industry 4.0 technologies. Please contact us if you want to know more about that. And the Michigan Manufacturing Technology Center is available to work with manufacturers to implement shop floor technologies, quality systems, process improvements, and ways to improve your team's leadership skills. Just give us a call, and thank you for joining us today.
We are coming to the end of our time. This was a great conversation. I feel like we could have filled a couple hours. So thank you so much. Just a reminder that we've recorded this session. So if you need any of the information, you want to revisit it or share it with your colleagues, if you're planning an intern program, please look up the recording. It'll be available for you to share and on all your social channels. And then please stay connected with us. Sign up for MI Business free morning edition e-newsletter and stay up to date on the latest reporting on industry news. And I just really want to thank Rachel and Jessica for giving all their time and expertise today and all the great advice. I hope everybody took good notes. And thank you to Terry and our sponsors on this live stream series, The Right Place and their manufacturing services team. And we'll be back next month with another in-depth manufacturing discussion. So we will see you then. Thanks, everyone.